Okay, hello everyone. All right, so let's create an example program using the if else statement. All right, so we're going to create a program that's going to ask the user to type in, let's say, the number 1. So if the user types in the number 1, we say, good job, you typed in the number 1. If the user types in any other number apart from 1, we tell the user, bad job or something. You didn't type in the number 1, something like that. All right, so let's create a small program like that. So I'm going to start with the input function and ask the user to type in something, right? Or type in the number 1. So I'm going to use the input function and I'm going to display it to the user and say, please type in the number 1. I'm going to have my colon over here. So the input function is going to pop up some kind of text box and it's going to allow the user to type in a value. Now, whatever the user types is going to be sent back to us. It's going to be returned back to us as a string. Now that's important, that's a string. So when it's being returned back to us as a string, we need a place to store it. So I'm going to come over here and create a variable to store that value. And I'm going to call it user number. And user number is going to store whatever is being sent back to us from the input function. Okay, anything that the user typed. Now it's being sent back to us. Okay, whatever the user typed is being sent back or returned back to us as a string. But we can't use strings in calculations. Right? We want a number. If a number is being sent back to us, we want it as stored as a number and not as a string. So that means we need to convert whatever is being returned back to us from a string to an int. And so I'm going to call the int function and I'm going to surround everything that the user has typed with parentheses. I'm going to surround it with the int function basically. So everything that the user has typed over here, when it's being returned back to us, is going to be converted to an int before being stored here. So we will have an int, okay, an integer stored in user number. And then now we can test on user number. We can create our if else statement and say if the user number is equal to the number 1 in our colon. So I'm using double equals to compare. Double equal sign to compare. I'm asking, is what's on the right equal to what's on the left? If I use one equal sign, I'm assigning. Okay, I'm assigning what's on the right to what's on the left. But if I use double equal sign, I'm asking, is what's on the right? I'm comparing. I'm saying, is what's on the right equal to what's on the left? So if that's the case, then let's print out the statement. Remember our colon, we indent our code, our block of code that should run when the Boolean expression is true. We indent it and we say that, good job, you entered the number 1. Okay, and then we have our else, which is in line with our if statement. Our colon, we print out stubborn. You didn't enter. Oops, my typing is really bad. Enter the number 1. Okay, so it's going to be fairly straightforward. It's going to be if the user number is equal to 1, again, double equal sign to compare. Then print out, good job, you entered number 1. Else, that means you entered something else, something that is not 1. So print out stubborn, you didn't enter the number 1. So let's run the program. We ask the user to type in a number. I'm going to type in the number 3 and hit enter. It says stubborn, you didn't enter the number 1. And then now I'm going to run the program again. And then I'm going to enter the number 1. Hit enter and it says, good job, you entered the number 1. So that's how the if else statement works. Okay, it does something when the condition is true. It does one thing when the condition is true. And if the condition is not true, what's in the else block runs. Okay. All right. So there are other ways to check for multiple conditions. Over here, we are checking for if something is true, we do something, and if something is false, we do another thing. In some cases, you come across some cases where you do one thing and do another thing and do another thing and do another thing, right? You check multiple conditions, and each condition you want to do something, right? For example, you wanted to check if you wanted to print a message that said something, or you wanted to write code that did something when a person is between the age 0 and 5. You wanted to write code that did something for someone who is between the age of, let's say, 5 and 10, right? And then someone who is between the age of, let's say, 10 and 15. There are multiple conditions that you can have, and there are multiple structures in Python that we can use to work on that. I know it may sound a bit confusing, but when it gets there, you will have a better sense of it. All right. So this is how the if statement works. I just wanted us to try an example so we can have a better sense of it. All right, if you have any questions, please comment down below, and I'll do everything to respond to them. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time with the next video. All right then. Bye bye.